Hi, this is video 2 of 3 where we will be covering entering data into PowerScore. Let's get started. Once you have logged in to your PowerScore account, you will be redirected to the PowerScore benchmarking site. This initial login will take you to the beginning of the survey. Once again, at the beginning of the survey, you can download the PDF of all the questions that are asked throughout to prepare for completing the survey. The first question is about your growing spaces. For this example, we'll model a facility that uses a small greenhouse space and a larger outdoor space. These spaces are used to organize information later in the survey, like lighting, HVAC, and canopy area. Some growers have distinct rooms or spaces in their operation. Others might consider their growing area as one big space. The survey will ask specifically about flowering canopy areas, so it can be helpful to separate out any growing spaces for other stages here. Then you will pick your production management class and tier. This should be based on your license. You can select a cooperative or collaborative, nursery, cultivator, or combination cultivator with different tiers relating to your applicable square footage and lighting, micro business, registered organization with dispensing, or registered organization, no dispensing. Each of these categories are defined based on your license type on your submitted paperwork. Next, you will input your zip code. And then you will input your last reporting month. Each PowerScore record is based on a 12-month period of time. So here you're choosing the last month that you are entering. So if you're entering, for example, September of 2024 as the last month of data, then the reporting period will go from October 2023 to September 2024. If you have not been growing for a full year, no worries. You'll still enter the last month you are reporting. Instructions for cultivation facilities that have been operating for less than 12 months will be covered throughout the video. Next, you will choose your local utility from the list. We'll select National Grid. Next, you will input the units for your water. You can look at your water utility bill to see the units listed. We'll select gallons. If there are any uniquenesses you'd like to consider, write that in this section. This could be something like a shared utility meter. Then select Get Started to move on to the next section. On this next page, you'll describe the growth stages you do on-site and the types of processing you might do at your facility, along with any manufacturing or any other activities. You can select multiple items from these lists. Click Next to move on to the next section. On this page, you'll further detail the cultivation spaces you listed at the beginning of the survey. If you listed multiple spaces, you will go through each space one by one. The questions vary slightly based on the type of space. For greenhouse space, we'll input whether this is a new space or a renovated space, whether it's a ventilated greenhouse with open airflow to the outside, or it's a sealed greenhouse that only intakes air from a filtered source. We'll also input whether there are any light deprivation activities and whether or not there is any supplemental electric light that is being used. For this example, we'll say this space has some vegetative and some flowering plants. If any of your spaces have lighting, you will input how many different types of light fixtures are used for growing in the space. If you have a mixture of lights from different manufacturers or different wattages being used, then these count as different types. For our example, in our greenhouse space, we'll say we use a mixture of high-pressure sodium and LED lights. So for this question, we have 2 types of lights. The next question is about your average canopy area under production for that 12-month period for each growing space. This is going to be the area that is under production throughout the year. So for many operators, your flowering canopy area is going to be the maximum canopy area of your license. Sometimes, though, it may not be. For example, if this is your first year growing, maybe you're only growing for half of the year. So if that is the case, then you'd only put half the canopy space because it is averaged over the whole year. So put in the amount of space that is actually growing your flowering plants at that time. Another example, if you have an outdoor space that was only growing for half of the year, you would only use half of that total square footage here. Next, select any building commissioning going on in your facility, if any. You can also note any unique aspects or features of your building in the box below. Click Next to move on to the next page. Answer these questions for each space you have. On this page, if any of your spaces use lighting, you will input information about each type of light used in each space. For our greenhouse example, we'll say that we're using a checkerboard configuration where we're using some high-pressure sodium and some LED lights. Click Next Light Type to begin inputting the lighting information. So for each lighting type, you can look through a convenient list that has many of the different lighting types that are available. If you select a lighting option from our list, this will automatically populate the boxes with information we have available, like wattage. If your lighting fixture is not on the list, or you don't know the actual make or model, you can look up the lighting fixture wattage on the specs, or sometimes on the body of the light itself. New York State does require the PPE, which is photosynthetic photon efficacy, of the light. You can use the little information icon to see where this information can be found, such as on the spec sheet, or you can contact the lighting manufacturer to understand the PPE. Here, we'll input 2.86 micromoles per joule for our PPE. Then you will input the number of these fixtures. So, how many fixtures are in that space? For our example of our greenhouse space, we'll say there's 10 of these HPS lights, and then we'll say there's 10 LED lights. Then you'll input how many hours a day the lights in this space are turned on. We'll say that they're on for 12 hours a day. Then you'll input how many days a year the lights in this space are in operation. We'll say that this space is in operation 360 days a year, accounting for 5 days of maintenance. If your facility was only in operation for part of the year, then you would only include the days that those were in operation. Click Next to complete this section. In this section, those with greenhouse or indoor spaces will input what you are using for your HVAC system. Our example is of a greenhouse, so it most likely uses System G. There are a range of system options listed with clear descriptions to offer an estimate of HVAC system efficiency. The outdoor space is not going to have an HVAC system. Add in if any of your facilities use thermal technologies. We're going to say that our space is not using any of these, but things like geothermal and geothermal heat pumps, as well as air source heat pumps, are increasingly common, and we're working to understand how people use these systems. Click Next to move on to the next section. In this section, you'll describe the water sources in your facility, how much of your water use comes from these sources, and their applications. For example, if there's any reclamation coming from rainwater, irrigation, condensate, or gray water. We'll say there's reclamation from irrigation here. And we'll say that it's about 20 to 40% of the water that comes from this. We'll also say that we irrigate and have some evaporative pad cooling in this facility, and that we also have some post-harvest activities on site. Click Next to move on to the next section. In this section, you'll input your water usage throughout the year, which can be found on your utility bills. So for each month, you will go through and insert your water usage. If you have only been in operation for part of the year, no worries, just enter the data you have to date. Click Next to move on to the next section. In this section, you will describe your energy sources and usage. Select if you purchase any renewable energy through community programs like community solar, and if you produce any renewable electricity on site. Then you will input the required electricity usage. This is the number of kilowatt hours based on your electricity bill for your whole facility. Peak electric demand can also be inserted, but this field is optional. Peak electric demand is going to be a pretty considerable part of your bill, so it is worth understanding. So we will do both in our example. Again, if you have only been in operation for part of the year, just enter the data you have to date. Next, you'll input how much natural gas your facility uses throughout the year. Then, input whether your operation uses other delivered fuels. For example, we're going to say no to the delivered fuels. Then, input whether you supplement with CO2 at your facility. If you do use CO2 supplementation, there's another question about what type of CO2 you're using, whether that's purchased canisters, on-site generation, you have some type of co-location partner, or you're using direct capture. Click Next to move on to the next section. In this section, you'll describe your annual production. You'll select whether you're using fresh weight or dry weight and enter the weight of your total production throughout that 12-month period. And if there's any unique lists or irregularities that you'd like to put in, feel free to put that information in the box below. Click Next to move on to the next section. In this section, you'll describe your facility's waste management approach. So how are you disposing of green waste? You'll also note how much of your waste was recycled, composted, or went to landfill. This type of information can help understand how much facilities are recycling and how much they're composting. Click Next to move on to the next section. In this section, you'll note if you're considering any HVAC or dehumidification upgrades, if you've used incentives from a utility program, and if you've had a FlexTech evaluation. FlexTech is a New York-specific program run through NYSERDA, and if you haven't investigated it, it's definitely worth checking out to see if you qualify for cost sharing on a FlexTech evaluation. You can click the information icon there to learn more. Then mark if you'd like to receive emails from us at RII. These would include information about upcoming best practices guides, webinars, rebate programs, and newsletters. You can unsubscribe at any time. Click Next to move on to the final section. Here, you'll see a summary of the information you put into the survey before you submit it. At the bottom of the summary, you'll mark whether this is a record you'd like to officially submit or whether it's a test record. This is so you can practice the process. Click Submit and lock your PowerScore to submit your survey. And congratulations on completing your PowerScore benchmarking. If you need to correct a mistake, once you receive your performance snapshot, you can click Edit at the bottom of the snapshot and make changes where needed. If you are looking at your previous record and you're trying to make a new record for the new year, you can click Create a Copy and it will carry over a majority of the information here to another record. You can also read more about the calculations in the PowerScore glossary here, and contact us if you have any questions or issues. Now that you've learned how to enter your data into PowerScore, in the next video, we will cover reviewing your performance snapshot. We'll see you there.